Good evening, everybody. I'd like to welcome everybody to regular council meeting of July the 28th, 2014. First item on the agenda is the adoption of the minutes from the July 14th meeting.
So moved.
Moved by Councillor Van Elton and seconded by Councillor Waterman. Any errors or omissions? Anything? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor? Okay, thank you. Nothing to amend the agenda by tonight?
Nothing for tonight, Your Worship.
Okay, thank you. So the first item on the agenda is we have a delegation. Carmen McDowell from Summerland Arts Program Coordinator. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Good evening, councillors. My name is Carmen. I'm the Summer Program Coordinator at the Community Arts Council. This summer, I'm starting a new event called Wednesdays on the Water. It's a musical concert series that's going to be held at Spirit Square at Peach Orchard Beach. Wednesday nights for the month of August. It's going to feature all local musicians, and concerts will run from 6:30 till 8:30 p.m. So what I'm here for tonight is to ask if the district would like to sponsor this event. We have seen many events like this in communities around the Okanagan: Princeton, Oliver, West Bank, Kamloops, Salmon Arm, and Nelson, just to name a few. All have weekly concert series. It's a great way to promote the artists and musicians in town, and it's a great community event. It's a family-oriented event, and because Spirit Square is so close to the campsites and the waterfront resort, it's great for tourists as well. As you can see in your packages, there's our sponsorship package. Also the poster that you'll see plastered around town in the next week or so. We also have different genres each week. The tentative schedule is also in the package, which will be confirmed later on this week. We have different groups. There's hopefully going to be a rock group. We're doing a youth night, which is going to be a mix. Each youth group or solo performance will have about 20 minutes. On the 20th, we have Robert Johnson and Liz Campbell coming, and then hopefully on the 27th, Allison Alter and her band, and all of those are Summerland musicians. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so maybe you might want to enlighten us, Carmen, on what the minimum amount would be for a sponsorship.
Okay, so in the sponsorship package on the second page, we've come up with a formula on how to pay the musicians, depending on how many people are in the ensemble. So the minimum amount is, for one person, we're giving them $125. For a group of 5 or more, we've hit a max rate of $300. So anywhere between $125 to $300 is what we're asking sponsors to donate. We have some nights where we have a couple sponsors who have donated to cover the cost of a larger band. So they'll have 2 sponsors for that night. We also have costs such as advertising and sound equipment to cover as well.
Okay, thank you. Any questions of Carmen? Comments then? Go ahead, Councillor Waterman.
Yeah, thank you, Worship. So Carmen, thank you for coming tonight.
No problem.
And
Thanks
it
for
looks
having
like a nice addition to our summer event schedule, so to speak, and something for the tourists, and right down from Peach Orchard Campground too.
Mm-hmm.
So how are you doing for sponsors so far in terms of
We
donations?
do have a few sponsors. As you can see on the bottom of the posters, it's listed.
Yeah.
Some of them have donated money. Some of them the wineries have donated wine that we're going to be giving to the adult musicians. A lot of them are doing more media-related sponsorship. So Easy Rock and the Chamber and Shaw TV will be coming for our opening night.
I see.
We're hoping, yeah.
Okay, so how many, without actually going through it, because I've just seen this, how many nights do you have, say, 2 performers or more?
2 performers or more every single night.
Every single night?
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, we don't have any solo performers.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah.
How about 4 people or groups of 5?
We have one group of 4 on the 27th.
Yes.
Possibly a group of 4 or more on the 6th. That's not confirmed yet.
I see.
Yeah, we did
Okay.
have someone scheduled for that night, but when they rechecked their schedule, they realized they're going to med school, so they're not gonna be here.
So any evenings, any of your sponsors where you're getting, say, advertising in terms of Shaw or Easy Rock and so on, that's more or less an in-kind thing.
Yes,
In essence, you still have to pay the musicians.
we do, yes.
For that evening.
Yeah.
As well as, it just means you don't have to cover off on some advertising as well.
Yeah.
But you still have to come up with cash for those.
For the musicians.
For the musicians, thank you.
Yes.
What's the pleasure, Council, pardon me, Councillor Robson?
Just a question on that. So you're looking at 4 events. Thank you. Acting Mayor, pardon me.
Get-
Call me whatever you want. I've called a lot of things.
Pick and choose.
Carmen, so you've got 4 for the month of August?
We've got 4, yes. We were hoping to start earlier. We came up with the idea in early June, so I've only had about a month and a half to get this all organized. So the time it took to get approval from the board and everything booked and sponsors, and now musicians. We're hoping to do this as an annual thing, so next year it would be probably the month of July as well as August. But for this summer, it's just gonna be August.
So if my mathematics is correct, then we're looking at a maximum of $1,200 cost.
Possibly, yeah, depending on how many people are in each night. So for the first night, I'm not 100% sure if Flux will be doing that occasion, but there's 3 people in that band, so that would be $225 that we'd be paying them. For the youth night, we have different youth coming through, so we could have anywhere from 6 to 12 youth. Instead of paying them money, we're going to be giving them gift cards to All You Need Is One, since they're the sponsors of that night, and that's what they have requested that we do. For the second night with Robert Johnson, or the third night, sorry, Robert Johnson and Liz Campbell, that would be a duo, so that we're paying them $175, and that's how it works out. Plus the wine that the wineries have
Thank you, Carmen.
given, yeah.
Okay, what's the pleasure, Council? I
Yeah.
have a suggestion if you want.
Yeah, Your Worship,
So, go ahead.
I feel that, given the plus that this does for Summerland, perhaps we could cover sort of one evening, Your Worship, either $275 or $225, something like that. Would be alleviating the full cost for one evening.
So my suggestion was going to be sort of exactly that.
Okay.
I was going to say the $300.
Yeah, well,
and,
that would be fine.
You know, we give $500 to other
That's
groups
what I was
and
thinking.
for traveling and for one thing or another. So I think the $300 is a reasonable start. I don't think that the corporation should be stuck with the whole total cost.
Oh, no,
I think
of course
we
not.
need some community participation, and they've obviously got that, but they need
Mhm.
some money. So if somebody wants to make a motion
I'll make that motion, Your Worship.
for
For $300 to support this
Move.
cultural event.
moved by Councillor Waterman, seconded by Councillor Van Elton. Okay, any more discussion?
Just a question, is that a sufficient funding you're looking at?
That's great, more than I expected, so thank you very
Thank you.
much.
Okay, we can do less.
I don't know.
Too late, bad negotiating.
We
there,
haven't voted
Councillor.
yet. We haven't voted.
I guess what I'd like to say, Your Worship, is that I think coming to us at this stage when you've got a good schedule of sponsors in place already makes us very comfortable as far as matching and participating. So I'm very happy that council has seen fit to bring this motion forward and second it. We've yet to vote on it, but at the same time, I think seeing all the other sponsors there, there's lots of community involvement, so
Yes.
I'm hoping this will pass very well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Councillor Van Elton.
Thank you, Worship. I'd just like to thank Carmen for coming this evening. I've been hearing this on the radio.
Oh, great.
I'm working away in my shop, and I hear, West Kelowna's doing this, and different communities are doing this in different evenings, and I think this will bring a lot of activity down at Peach Orchard,
That's what we're hoping.
and thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Councillor Robson.
Thank you, Worship. And I too, Carmen, would like to, and thank you and the sponsors that have come forward, because this is a significant number, and it's
Yes.
good that we're
Impressive,
getting
yeah.
that support from our local sponsors. Thank you.
It's a great addition of a new event for Summerland.
Mhm.
Thank you.
You
And
bet.
let's hopefully it leads to something long-term.
Definitely,
And
yeah.
maybe even bigger and better. Who knows? Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, all those in favor? Okay, thank you. Passed unanimously then. Okay, the next item on the agenda then is the mayor's report. And I'll read this on behalf of Mayor Perino. My thanks to Councillor Bruce Holquist, who is acting mayor for July, and for reading this report. The ATV Club of Summerland hosted the BC Annual General Meeting for members from all over BC, along with some from Alberta and Washington. I have had the opportunity to meet them at the Summerland Suites on July the 17th when they came in for their official ice cream run. Thank you to all members, to all of the members for your care and concern of licensing ATVs, the land use issues, and for supporting Summerland. Great to see you there, Councillor Orb Robson. This past Friday, July the 25th, I was very proud to attend the Lieutenant Governor's award ceremonies at 8th Generation and Okanagan Crush wineries. Both facilities have incredible stories about how their operations got started, the commitment to their staff and family support they received, all that helped to contribute to their successful day. I was most proud of the two of the wineries that won the awards, and both helped to put Summerland on the map with pride and distinction. On Saturday, July the 26th, I threw the first pitch, albeit badly, for the BC Seniors Ladies Softball Championships at Dale Meadows. They had several teams from all over the province. Thanks to Carol Van Balcom and all the volunteers for all of the organizing she has done over the years to make this a tournament a success. And finally, I want to thank our Sister City Committee and all the host families who will be taking care of the children coming from Torokoro, Japan this coming weekend and into next week. Most of them have never been away from home, so to have their first world trip to Summerland is very special. If you see them around town, we hope that you will give them a warm welcome. Janice Perino, Mayor. Thank you. Okay, the CEO report.
Yes, thank you. I wanted tonight to take this opportunity to update the community on the advancement of our water meter project. So for those, today, this morning, we presented to council and went through a lengthy workshop with council on two bylaws that will implement the water meter project. And all that work from those bylaws follows the public information processes that we carried out through the last number of months. So first of all, I think it's very important to note that the water meter project for residential and commercial, effective January 1, water will be billed based on a metered rate. And so we've been passing out or mailing out to all residents of Summerland all the information statements over the last number of months, so people have an idea of how much water they're using and what that would mean under this system. And in fact, that rate and system is being put in effect as of January 1. And so as of January 1, all water must be metered. There are a number of individuals in the community who don't have water meters on all their water service right now. So those who have water that is not metered need to go up to Public Works or telephone Public Works and talk about their specific circumstances. And they need to arrange to have that metering in effect by January 1. And this is critical because some people may choose to implement a pit meter, which would have to be done before freeze up. And so they really only have about 3 or 4 months in order to undertake that. So those people who are interested in a pit meter option really need to address that very early. If a property has 2 services and one is not a blue box, they need to meet with Public Works or discuss with Public Works their servicing options. So in particular, 3 years ago, there was around 1,100 properties that were deleted from the irrigation roll, and some of those owners might not know they were on the irrigation roll. They might be new owners. But if you have 2 services, you need to get a hold of Public Works and talk about your options in terms of your 2 water services. If you have a situation where you put your water meter in your house, but your irrigation line was coming off before that meter, you need to come in and talk to Public Works. And we understand that there was a number of people concerned with their landscaping and didn't want to do that, but by January 1, all water needs to be metered, and so you need to come in and explore your options with Public Works. So I guess the bottom line on this is that these bylaws will be considered by council on August 25th. Council gave that direction. They gave us a couple little changes that we had to make. So I guess what we're trying to advise the community is everyone who has unmetered water at this point in time needs to come in and to Public Works or telephone Public Works and explore their options and make a decision about how they're going to meter all their water. If you have unmetered water, you are using water that somebody else is paying for. I think it's very important to note it's not just free water. Everyone else is paying for that water. So you're not paying your fair share. And the whole intent of this system is to be fair and equitable. And it's a difficult system to implement because we have 100 years of history, as Councillor Hallquist pointed out, 100 years of history of one-off situations, and we're trying to be fair and equitable to everyone. And so, again, as of January 1, the water meter or water will be billed based on the new metering system. And that information, there'll be information coming out over the next number of weeks. But very critically, for those of you who have an unmetered service or have two services, one of which is not a blue box, you really need to get a hold of Public Works and talk about your options so that you can sort out what you want to do before the end of the year. So, as I say, more information coming out, but if people have questions, telephone Public Works or telephone us here at City Hall and we'll try and answer your questions.
Thank you. Anything else?
No.
Okay. Okay, so moving right on to Development Services Department reports and bylaw 2014-017, zoning text amendment.
Yes, thank you, Your Worship. From time to time, there are amendments that the Development Services Department uncovers through the administration of our new zoning bylaw. And when we see something that requires amendment, we bring it forward to council for their consideration. And what we have here is exactly that situation. We have a definition of what is a front property line, and that has become a bit problematic for corner lots where people front two streets. And right now, the front property line is defined as the narrowest property line that fronts a street. So if you're on a corner lot, typically one line is a bit shorter than the other one. That is deemed to be the front. The other adjacent street is deemed to be the side exterior. And there are different setbacks from each. Front setback is 6 meters. The side exterior setback is 4.5 meters. And this little diagram here shows a typical corner lot. There's a street at the bottom and a street on the right-hand side. The narrowest dimension at the bottom there would be the front, and the longer dimension on the side would be the side exterior. So a front setback would be 6 meters typically. A side exterior would be 4.5. If those were interchangeable, the building could move, as the dotted line shows, to where it's 6 meters from the longer one and 4.5 from the shorter one. As you can see, that's not a significant movement of the building envelope for all intents and purposes. However, we're into infill situations and some others in Summerland, and this is a fairly typical situation where we have a long lot. The front is the narrower side to the right there. It's on a corner lot. The rear is a very large rear yard, and the bottom one there is the 4.5 meter side exterior. So somebody comes in and they want to subdivide off a new lot under our infill rules. All of a sudden their rear yard is now a separate lot, so they don't have a rear setback anymore. And under the old rules, you would have to come in with a very complicated variance permit and say that the front setback can change to 4.5 and the side can change to 6 and the rear, and it would be very, very complicated. In this particular situation, which is quite typical, they do have a 6 meter setback from both streets. They have enough in the rear to make an adjustment. So in this particular case, we're suggesting that where there's a corner lot, either street can be the front at the owner's wish, and either the other street would become the side exterior. And again, if you look, in this particular case, it would make absolutely no difference to the location of the building. It's just simply the setbacks change. There's still a front. All the green space remains the same. And in a case, as I showed you previously, there's a very minor potential adjustment in the building envelope, but this would save a lot of grief for renovations, additions, and infill subdivisions.
Okay, questions? Councilor Waterman.
I'd just like to move the staff recommendation,
Okay,
Worship.
thank you. Seconded by, seconder.
Lloyd. It's
Okay,
recommended,
Seconder here?
yeah, I saw Councilor Christopherson.
Okay, thank you.
That bylaw 2014-17 to amend zoning bylaw 2000-450 to revise the definition of property line front as noted on Schedule A be read a first time and proceed to public hearing.
And so my only question would be, the public hearing would be when?
That would be August the 25th.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor? Anybody opposed?
No.
Anybody opposed?
I'll concede.
What does that mean?
What does that mean?
I'll be in favor of it.
Okay.
I got a question on the next one, though.
Okay. You realize that we're only moving these applications to public hearing. We're not approving anything, we're only just going to.
Public hearing, yes.
Public hearing, okay. Okay, so the next one, Ian?
This is an application that we've been, or an implementation of our new zoning bylaw that we've been looking forward to for some time, and this is very similar to the RPN new zone that we created a few weeks ago. This is the residential single detached I, which is residential single detached intensive zone. And this is a brand new zone that was written when we drafted our bylaw in 2011, but again, it has never been implemented as we have never had a property with this zone attached to it. So it's been sitting on the, in abeyance, waiting for somebody to come and apply for it, and we now have that situation. So this residential single detached intensive zone is a smaller lot size that again is intended for lots surrounding the downtown core, and it allows for smaller infill situations. So it reduces the lot size from our current minimum of 460 square meters in the RSD1 zone. This allows a lot to be 360 square meters, that's just under 4,000 square feet. And it can be further reduced down to 275 square meters with a density bonus payment. So if somebody wants to pay our $5,000 density bonus, which is in the zoning bylaw now, they can further reduce the lot size to 275 square meters, and that payment is intended to be put towards amenities because of increased density. There may be other amenities that are required in certain neighborhoods. The same with the lot width. The lot width for the RSD1I typically is 12 meters, which is exactly the same as the width for the RSD1 zone now. But with that same density bonus payment, they could reduce the lot width down to 9 meters, which is about 30 feet. And some examples of that type of housing can be found down on Beaver Street in Lowertown. We have 4 houses down there that are on a lot exactly the size, actually slightly larger, or slightly smaller than the size that we're proposing here today. So the first part of this bylaw is to create this new zone as per the schedule. As I noted, the downtown core can be seen on the map in red, and the low-density residential intensification designation on our community plan, which is where these zones would be allowed, is shown in orange on the screen. So you can see those are right now low-density residential areas very close to our downtown core, and that is where we're intending that these RSD1I lots could be placed. So in this particular case, we're looking at a property at 12262 Saunders Crescent, and they are looking to rezone their property from RSD1 to this new RSD1I zone. And there's a picture of where that is located in the community on Saunders Crescent. As you can see, it's in the LDRI, or Low Density Residential Intensification designation on the community plan. And it is currently zoned RSD1. So in this particular case, you can see the house to the top of your screen. There's a red dotted line where the new lot line would go. And then there could be a new lot created on the south half, if you like, or somewhat less than half of that lot. In this particular case, the remainder lot to the north would be the minimum, more than the minimum size in the RSD1 zone. And the lot to the south there would have to invoke the density bonus provisions, and it is proposed at 298 square meters. And I went out there today and just took a photograph of the property and did a little Photoshop work. And then that is kind of, gives a bit of an idea of what we're looking towards to slot in a relatively small, not overly small, but relatively small single-family house. There are two other amendments that go along with this proposal. One is an amendment to the subdivision and development bylaw. And this bylaw has been around for quite some time, and it requires a 10-meter by 10-meter building envelope for every lot that's created by subdivision. And obviously, if we have a lot that can go down as narrow as 9 meters, you're not going to get a 10-meter by 10-meter building envelope. So this bylaw amendment would waive that, remove that provision for lots in the RSD1I zone only. And there's a similar provision in the new zoning bylaw. And again, that provision would not apply to the RSD1I zone.
That's it?
That's it.
Okay, thank you. Questions, comments? Councillor Van Elton?
Thank you, through the planner. So if you drop back one slide, please. So then the north property, then the official address would be on Ward Street then? Now it would be Sonder Crescent?
The addressing wouldn't necessarily have to change. We would have to look at that and see through the process whether it was warranted to change the street name or street number. Generally, the address is where the front door faces for ease of finding it, so if the house doesn't change, the address wouldn't necessarily change.
Okay. Councillor Robson?
To the planner, thank you, Your Worship. So this only applies to corner lots?
It could. This particular, the provision that we just talked about prior would only apply to corner lots, but conceivably there could be a situation in the middle of the block, say the lot immediately to the west here, so maybe this lot here, it isn't big enough in this case, but there are some cases where a single-family lot is big enough, and if the house is located on one side, you could conceivably split the lot right down the middle and put a house on the other side. And again, that was the intent of this infill zone. The minimum is, in the RSD1 now, is 650 square meters. So if you availed yourself of the density bonus, you could take our former RSD1 zone and cut it right down the middle, and these owners could take some equity out of their property. You could do a subdivision without assembling multiple properties, but the house would have to be located in the right spot, or else the house would have to be demolished. It is intended to apply to not just corner lots.
But if you have like this is 13 meters. 13 meters on this lot.
The new lot frontage.
22.95 long.
That's correct.
Your widths on those other lots is certainly not 13 meters.
That's
Or
correct.
26 meters
Yes, in this particular
area.
you wouldn't be able to split one of them in half, but there are areas in that all
Are
LDRI.
there areas where you could have access to the rear of the property with an access road?
Not that I'm aware of. All of the ones mid-block would have to split side by side, both with street frontage. In this particular case, it's certainly easier on corner lots where you have two streets for access.
Okay, thank you.
Councillor Hacking?
Just a question on the provision D. That seems to be a zoning text amendment. Does it intend to apply just to this zoning amendment or to the subdivision bylaw as a whole?
We have to amend both. There is a similar provision in the zoning bylaw and the subdivision and development bylaw, both which require a 10 by 10 meter building envelope for every lot in Summerland. So unless we amend both, one of them would still be at odds with this proposed subdivision.
Okay, then my thought is it appropriate to have it as part of this amendment and not just split it out into it separately?
I would have to defer to the corporate officer on that. I believe it can all be done with an amendment, but.
What was that, Robert?
So we have a section D amendment which would apply to the development service bylaw in its entirety, stuck inside a zoning bylaw to a specific property.
Yeah.
I was wondering if we should not if we want to do
Well,
that.
yeah, we
text
have one
amendment first.
bylaw for these 4 amendments, but once this bylaw is adopted, then I go into the subdivision and development servicing bylaw and make that amendment in there.
Okay, that would be suitable.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Councillor Waterman?
Actually, it's no problem. I'm fine.
Okay.
Yep, thank you.
So, a comment and a question then. So getting back to what Councillor Robson was getting at, so splitting a lot in half, so you wouldn't be able to make an L-shaped lot, in other words, split the back off and run a driveway to it.
Generally speaking, that's called a panhandle lot.
Panhandle lot.
And panhandle lots are generally something that we frown upon except on very extreme circumstances, and those are usually in topographic situations with slopes prohibit normal
So that's
subdivision.
something we definitely don't encourage.
Definitely not.
Okay. And the comment I'd like to make is that, for this house, in this particular circumstance, they could quite conceivably put a carriage house there.
Absolutely. You mean as opposed to a subdivision?
Exactly.
Yes, they could.
So in terms of size and everything else, in terms of the house itself, the building, we're talking relatively the same size.
Relatively, there's a bit more room. They could build a bigger
I understand.
house, but
Okay.
same idea.
Okay.
Just,
Okay, Councillor Walker.
since your comment, I'd
Go
like to
ahead.
ask one more. So in this instance where there may not be enough property to split it on one end to the other, I'm thinking in terms of, you're mentioning carriage houses, that in that situation, say the longer lot, et cetera, where there may be room at the back for something, that to have a driveway down one side to service a carriage house would be acceptable.
Absolutely, and we do encourage that, and every lot that has full urban services, basically sewer, is available to put a carriage house on.
Right.
No subdivisions.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah,
Councilor
I can
Van
think
Elk.
of lots like that, yeah.
I'd like to put the recommendation on the table, Your Worship.
Okay, go ahead.
That bylaw 2014-018 to A, amend the zoning bylaw 2000-450 to create the RSD1I residential single detached intensive zone as shown on Schedule C, and B, amend zoning bylaw 2000-450 to rezone Lot 1 DL 474 ODYD Plan 23938 located at 12262 Saunders Crescent from RSD1 residential medium lot to RSD1I residential single detached intensive zone, and C, amend sections 4.91 of the zoning bylaw 2000-450 to exempt property zoned RSD1I from the requirement to have a 10-meter by 10-meter building envelope, and D, to amend section 3.05 of the subdivision and development service bylaw 99-004 to exempt properties zoned RSD1I from the requirement to have a 10 by 10 meter building envelope.
Be read it first time?
You read it first.
To be read it first time for public hearing?
Correct.
Okay. Seconder for that? Got seconded by Councillor Waterman. Any further discussion, any more questions? Councillor Robson.
My concern would be, now, when do the provisions of these, I can't remember what you call them, the $5,000
That's a density bonus payment.
density bonus payment come into provisions?
That comes into play if you want to go less than the 360 square meter or less than the 13 meters of frontage. And in this particular case, the 13-meter frontage is fine, but the size is down as low as 298, so they would have to make a density bonus payment to the district in order to have that subdivision approved.
Okay, that's what I wanted to hear.
Okay. All those in favor? Passed unanimously, thank you. Okay, there's no recommendations from the committee of the whole this morning then?
No, there's-
No new business, so bylaw 2014-010 for final reading to be adopted. Moved by Councillor Hacking, seconded by Councillor Van Elfen. Any further discussion, any questions? All those in favor? Thank you. Passed unanimously. Councillors' reports, Councillor Hacking,
I have no report this evening.
Councillor Christopherson,
No report for you.
Councillor Robson.
Oh, gosh, it's been a busy 2 weeks. But I haven't been as busy as some, and I will say that it's been a hot summer, and I'm glad that the forest fires are under control, and we didn't get hit too hard, although there was some
Yeah.
areas in the RDOS that
Yeah.
did get hit, and there is still time to come. And, I did go with the ATV club for a ride when they were here, and I had a great time. And I think what they're doing as a club in Summerland is very, very environmentally friendly. The areas and the things that they do to promote the environment and the safety within their organization for the outdoors is commendable. We have some individuals that do harm to our environment, and hopefully as these ATVs become more popular, they will garner responsible usage, and I think this club tries to promote that, and I'm very pleased with the work they're doing. Thank you.
Councillor Waterman.
Thank you, Worship. I've been extremely busy the last 2 or 3 weeks.
Great.
None of it was councillor business.
There you go.
Other than promoting Summerland at all kinds of different recreational venues and working hard on my my handicap. So that's pretty much how busy I've been.
Well, thanks for that.
I'm sure.
Councillor Van Helden.
Thank you, Worship. Just a couple of quick comments, not really reports, but we had a little, couple instances out in Garnet Valley with some lightning strikes, and I just want to take my hat off to our local fire department. The volunteers and staff were on it quickly, and never amounted to too much, but it was scary considering what's happening to the north of us and other areas. And just a comment, cherry season is definitely upon us, and a couple of farmers have mentioned to me that they're having problems with getting staff, workers, so if you know of anybody who's looking for work, there is work available. Thank you.
Thank you. Move to adjourn.
You have no report?
Move. No, I have no report. I gave my report, the mayor's report.
So moved.
Move to adjourn. Second. Okay. Okay, thank you. Okay, so any questions from the press? Public? Christine, you must have a list of all questions. Do you know it? No?
I'm good, thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
Good job, Mr. Mayor.
Yes.